Hey everyone, Adam Swartz here, your top real estate agent. On this week's real estate news, we're going to talk about Joe Biden's $213 billion plan to solve the housing problem. Obviously, we all know there's a lack of housing and affordable housing, especially for us being in Southern California. We see this very impactful, but throughout the United States, we're seeing a massive amount of shortage of housing. Which, when there's a shortage of housing and we have low interest rates, which is causing a lot of buyers in the market, that drives up prices. So it's $213 billion. What are they going to do with $213 billion? They are going to start making it where there's going to be less restrictions on land, right? Like minimum build size, like certain areas of land in Riverside, you have to have a certain size lot to be able to purchase or build a home on that lot. They're going to get rid of those. They're going to get rid of zoning where you can only have a certain amount of height on apartment buildings in certain cities. So they're going to try to get less restrictions to allow developers to come in and develop, to build more homes. The other thing they're going to do is they're going to convert old hotels and motels that aren't being used into apartments to give more housing. Trying to find any way possible to get more inventory out there, because that's what we lack. So I understand what they're trying to do, but is $213 billion even enough? The president of NAR, says it's a great idea that Joe Biden is pushing for this, but they don't even think it's enough money to solve the problem because we're so far behind. What I don't understand, after 2008 and 2009, 2010, we had this housing crash, and at that time, we currently had a housing problem anyways. We've always had a shortage of houses. So what I don't understand is, why didn't the government at that point in time go in, buy up those houses like they are going to do now? That's SB 1043. Don't quote me on the exact new rule, but the new law in California that if a foreclosure or short sale comes on the market, that after an investment buyer or an investor buys it, a homeowner or a nonprofit or the state of California can outbuy that property from that investor. So what I don't understand is, at that time we had the lowest prices that we've seen in a long time, and the government allowed all these big banks to buy up all these rentals and take them off the books. But now we're seeing the highest prices ever. Lumber has doubled in price in the last year. Labor is in extreme. We definitely are seeing this in hand with our new build project in Rialto. We're barely making it because prices are so high with work and with lumber and everything else that's costing them. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to actually do this, because at the end of the day, developers still do this to make a profit. At the end of the day, that's the developer or whoever's building these homes or flipping homes, they are taking the risk to make the profit. So are the government going to spend and buy homes at extremely high prices, and then that $213 billion is not going to go as far? I think it's very interesting right now. Like currently right now, Riverside is having to have all these committees to send to the state every 10 years talking about where they could develop land. So it's like we're paying for these committees to talk about building more housing, but this committee literally has zero control if we build more housing. What builds more houses? Investors and developers. Those are the ones that are going to it. So we have to figure out a way to make it cheaper for them to build, put a cap on what they can sell the house for, but still make it profitable for them. I truly believe that is the way that we're gonna get more housing, affordable housing. And I think we need to give up on people actually purchasing affordable housing. I have a video coming out soon about rental, on why home ownership is just never gonna be affordable in this market, in California. Because even if the market crashes, say what happened in 2010, why did those banks buy up all those houses? Well, when the market crashed, banks stopped lending out money. So the people that already had money could actually buy properties. The people that had no money still couldn't buy properties. Didn't matter how much the property was worth. Even if it was worth $100,000, they still weren't able to get a loan because they didn't have any money. So I'm interested to see, we need to build more affordable apartments than to allow people to save up more money to go purchase more homes, because at the end of the day, homeowners are not going to be stuck at a price that they can sell a house, because when we sell our homes, we want to sell for the top dollar. And how are we ever going to do that? And I've made a video about this before, and I've talked about this, Joe Biden, the $15,000 credit for first-time home buyers. That's only going to make home prices go up. So I think this is a great idea. I think if they convert all these unused, maybe even office buildings, because I think we are going to see a commercial issue now that companies are realizing they don't need to have people work in it. So if we start converting these old office buildings and these old hotels or motels that are not being used as much because of travel or whatever they like that, and we convert those into apartments, and that we can put some net rent cap on it to help people get on their feet. But I just don't know if it sounds crazy. I don't know if $213 billion is enough. And also, let's not even talk about Gavin Newsom's talking about ending homelessness for spending $65 billion in California. So, you know, throwing all this money at it. So we'll see if it just doesn't do, you know, the thing I think it's going to do, politically or not. I think it's going to just put money in the pockets of these people that do panels, or these people that are have to come in and to figure out the plan, or all these people. But we need to figure out ways to make it cheaper for developers to develop, and then put a cap on where they can rent and what they can sell for. And that's the only way we're going to truly ever have affordable housing. So just a little note to think about what might happen. You know, obviously this hasn't passed yet, just like I think the $65 billion from Gavin Newsom's a better chance of happening, because one, it's a leftover of the coronavirus pandemic money that California already has. So we already have the money. So I think that's a better chance. The $213 billion that Joe Biden's trying to say, that is in the big old package of the American plan, or whatever he's calling it. That's $2.1 trillion. So the odds of that passing probably not as likely, but the $65 billion from Gavin Newsom is. It is very interesting, and I'm going to throw this out there, that it's like, you know, obviously now that Gavin Newsom might be getting, you know, having to rerun and might be getting kicked out of office, he now wants to spend $65 billion in homelessness. Shocker. When we make them make decisions, they force them. So remember, guys, if you want things to change, you got to go out, push these people to do what you need to do. And until next time, guys, peace.